Hello everyone, this is Bennyhillz back for another vintage cube draft. Since then I've done two other drafts. This morning I got a trophy with a really sweet blue-black control deck, and then I got a 2-1 with a mono-white aggro deck. Just got turn 1 Black Lotus into Garrick Relentless on the play, which is very, very hard to beat with a bunch of 2/2s. So yeah, that happens sometimes. Hopefully we can pick up the trophy here in this second recorded draft. I posted about this on Reddit, and I've gotten some really great feedback from some people. So you came here from Reddit. Thank you for joining us. And I've also been talking to someone about editing these videos. So hopefully that will happen and be pretty sweet. Okay, so great pack here, honestly. Tinker, really, really broken card. In the right deck, this is one of the best cards in the format. It's generally not, I will first pick this card and I'll be happy with it sometimes, but really it's when you're getting this, fourth pick or something that it's a great sign, because then you'll be able to get the artifacts to fit it, both the big one and the small ones. But I don't think we'll be taking that here. Swords of Plowshares is a great removal spell, good in mono white, great in blue white control. There's Kiki Jiki, we could run it back from last night, but I do think Mana Drain is where we should start. This card is just super good. I would maybe even just take Counterspell over anything else in this pack, and Mana Drain is obviously just much, much better. Unfortunately, it is good in the Tinker decks. You're mono blue often in those decks, and you can ramp out some big colorless things with both Mana Drain and Tinker, so that's a little bit unfortunate that we can't take both, but we'll definitely be taking Mana Drain here and be very happy about that. None of the other cards are really considerations. There's some good ones, but yeah, we'll be taking Mana Drain. Alright, tough pack to follow it up. Sower is the only blue card, and it's fine. I'm not a big fan of Sower. Definitely thinking that the person to our right took a blue card here. So this is a little tricky. We could take the Bloodstained Mire. It's always just nice to stay open. That's going to be great if we end up in blue-black or blue-red or Grixis, or, always good to have good mana. We could just take the Sower. I'm not thrilled about that as our second pick, but that is on the table. We could also take Smuggler's Copter. I really like this card a lot. I think it can be good in base blue decks, but it's one of the best cards in your deck in mono white and mono red. I generally don't love picking either a white aggressive or red aggressive card early on, but I do like picking ones that are good in both, like Figure of Destiny, Smuggler's Copter. Those are cards that I'm okay taking pretty early. I think it's between the Bloodstained Mire and the Copter, and I think I'm actually... We'll take the Mire. I think it's just good to have good mana. Okay, so Stoneforge there. Sort of wishing we'd taken the Copter with that. Let's see. There's the workshop for that artifact deck that we're passing, but I don't think we're going that direction. Mystical Tutor can find Mana Drain, but that's not a great exchange, especially since then they'll know about it. We could just take the Stoneforge and sort of move in that direction. I do think this is one of the best cards in mono white, but I think we probably should just take this Verdant Catacombs. We already have one black fetch. This is setting us up for having very good mana. I think it's between Tutor, Verdant Catacombs, and Stoneforge, but I think we'll go with the Catacombs. If we'd taken the Smuggler's Copter, we would definitely slam the Stoneforge here and start moving into white, but we'll take the good mana here. Okay, this is really not going super well so far. I think we will just take this Control Magic. Blue is clearly not super open, but I think we will hopefully be able to get some blue in the other direction. Control Magic is a pretty good card. I do like it a little bit better than Sower. It just, in these sorts of decks, they'll have removal spells often that are sort of dead, and so Sower dies a lot of times, but if they kill the thing you steal, that's still a solid exchange. Again, if we were in mono white, I think at this point I can confidently say I'd be much happier having gone Smuggler's Copter into Stoneforge and a Giver of Runes. So that's a little bit unfortunate, but I still think we're not in a horrible position. Blue is not looking great in this pack, obviously. We have black fixing, but the black cards in this pack are pretty weak. I love Questing Beast. I think this card is just great, but it really doesn't go with what we're doing at all. We could just take it and sort of try and change directions. Could Could also take Council's Judgment. That's a great removal spell. I think I'm sort of leaning towards Kolaghan's Command here. This card is just great. Like, it's increasingly looking like we might not even be playing blue, but this goes great with our fixing. I don't think Jund is a good deck. Like, it's very hard to beat blue decks without playing blue or going under them. But I think Kolaghan's Command is a good card. Hopefully we could just end up in Grixis and make that happen. Alright, I like a Bitter Blossom, I like Johnny Vengeance, but I think we'll just take a Lava Claw Reaches here. I like Manlands a lot. It goes well with our Kolaghan's Command. Yeah, clearly blue isn't open. Clearly white is where we should have been, but I think at this point, taking the Lava Claw seems like a pretty good play. Oh man, I do not like Jund, but like maybe we just take Huntmaster. We could also take Avalanche Riders. That might be a little bit better actually. Oh yeah, I do think it's between those two. Again, there's a Mana Tide. Like, yeah, Mono White would have been good, but I think I like taking the Avalanche Riders here. It's good to recur with Kolaghan's Command. It's just a pretty powerful card. Huntmaster is decent, but it's not amazing, and the fact that we have this one Verdant Catacombs does not necessarily mean we want to be playing green. So, take this Avalanche Riders. Okay. I don't like Search for Skanta very much. There's Garruk Relentless, but I actually do think we should just move in a Jund direction. I don't think Jund is a good deck in Vintage Cube. I'm not impressed by this color combination. Like, you're not fast enough to beat blue decks, and they can just always outgrind you. Like, you're just trying to, nickel and dime them, and then they just play Ancestral Recall. And it's like, well, alright, all that work was just undone. We could take the Garruk. It's a decent card in this sort of deck, but I actually really like Manlands, and so I feel okay about taking this. Oh, wow, okay. Interesting situation here. The fact that Swords and Spectral Procession came back made me think that white might be very open. Like, it's possible that a lot of those white cards we were thinking about are coming back. So I Fiend Artisan is fine. Like we might play that if we were in some sort of Jund deck, same with Languish. But I think we're going to spec on the Swords and be thrilled if we can get some of those white cards back. Okay, both of these are fine. I think I like Elspeth a bit more. Yeah, so we'll take that. This draft has been very all over the place, obviously. Alright, no white cards here. Seasoned Pyromancer is pretty good. I do actually like Nicol Bolas quite a bit. Some people are pretty low on it, but I think this card is strong. But I think we should go with the Seasoned Pyromancer here. This is also strong and just like more likely to be playable. Oh, thank you, Bubba Tank. But yeah, we'll take the Pyromancer. Oh, man. We could take the Giver. This is not... We don't really have a well-formed deck at all right now. Like, we just have so many of these lands. I think we're going to go with the Runaway Steamkin. White is open, but it's not, like, unbelievably open. Okay, this is actually looking decent. Red is looking pretty open, so we can end in, like, we could have a pretty aggressive red deck that maybe splashes for this Kolaghan's Command. We could even just end in a mono red, but that's... yeah, we obviously have come to this decision very late. Okay, so Bribery is good, but I think we're sort of off of that plan at this point, unfortunately. Yeah, this is definitely the best card in the pack. Nis is also great, so is Uro, but here we are with our bad red cards. I honestly kind of want to take Zergo and just try and full pivot into mono red. Like, that's a way where we can salvage a good deck that can have a chance against blue. Red does clearly seem to be pretty open. And then we have good fixing to... we could even just splash for Manlands maybe, but we'll see. I think we'll go with this Zergo here. Man, it's just so painful to be looking at all these great cards, but just knowing that's probably not where we can be. Like, Mana Leak and Ponder are both great. We could still just try and be blue-red, but I kind of think that our best bet at this point is just to slam this Soulscar Mage and just move in on mono-red. There's also a Watery Grave, but yeah, I think we're in for this plan. Definitely not what I envisioned originally, but we'll see where we end up. Okay, This is really a mess. We'll see if we can salvage it. I think I like taking the Factor Fiction here. As weird as that may seem, I think that actually base red with a couple blue cards for card draw is not bad. And like none of these other cards are really good for us at all. I mean, Teferi's a sweet card, but that's not the direction we have gone. So we'll take this Factor Fiction. Oh, okay. Wow. Oh, man. So Jace is amazing. I mean, all of our best cards are blue here, unsurprisingly. We don't really have the mana for blue-red. Oh, man. I think we're actually just supposed to take Hell Rider, as good as Jace is. Like, we could also take Burst Lightning and try and wheel Hell Rider. But I think this card is just one of the best red cards in the cube. Yeah, I think this is probably the pick. Just so painful to watch all these good blue cards go, but we're going to take this. Okay, actually, this is amazing. These two red cards are just both... I think these are... Hell Rider, Hazoret, and Chandra are the three best red 4-drops, so that's pretty great to have a lot of them. I think Hazoret's a lot more likely to wheel because Chandra's good in other decks, and Hazoret's only good in very aggressive red, so I think we're going to take the Chandra. Hope to wheel the Hazoret, and I think we have a reasonable chance of doing so. I don't love Dreadhorde Arcanist in this sort of deck. Really, you want to be flashbacking blue spells with this card. I think we'll just take the Vista, which is pretty good if we end up wanting to splash something. I guess we could take a Pyretic Ritual. I'm not usually a fan of this card, but if we wheel Hazoret, then those two actually work quite well together. And I mean, turn 3 Chandra's strong, but I think we're going to take the Vista here. Koth. Oh. When I was going through the best red 4-drops. This is another one. This is just a phenomenal 4-drop. Puts a ton of pressure on them, threatens to ultimate quickly, can generate mana, so we'll take Koth, and this is looking like a very weird but maybe okay deck. Here, I think we'll take the Sword of One Piece. I actually think, I don't love playing swords in this sort of deck, but I don't hate it either. We do have a lot of creatures, and this is one of the better ones, I think, because the damage from the war side can be very relevant. Okay, we're taking the Rectus's Return here. We have some pulls towards black-red. Actually, yeah, if we have good fixing for black-red if we get a black-red duel. Oh, okay, I think we should take the Porcelain Legionnaire here. Thoughtseize is an amazing card. That's a disrespectfully late Ponder, but this is just a really great 2-drop, and we are sort of lacking on playables, so that's a nice thing to pick up. Not a fan of Goblin Dark Dwellers at all, really. I think we are taking it here, but if we have to play that, that's not a good sign. Okay? I'm not going to lie and say we're in a good position. This is definitely a bad deck right now. I think all the cards we have... Oh, man, losing Hazoret is brutal. Okay, that's just a bad sign, and yeah, this deck is not looking particularly good. I think at this point we sort of have to play black just to have enough playables. So, yeah, that's where we're at. Okay, we have... Why are we blue? There's a lot of directions this deck could have gone, and a lot of them are probably better than the one we're in. Like, yeah, if we had just stayed the course in blue and waited it out for the second pack, we had some good blue stuff that we passed, and maybe if we'd committed to mono white early, we could have had a pretty sweet white deck, but instead we're taking this Lightning Bolt. I mean, we could take Demonic Tutor and try and wield the Lightning Bolt if we do think we're going to be black, which is looking pretty likely, but I don't know how likely it is we are to wheel that, and Bolt is just a really good card. Okay, so Sulfuric Vortex is great, actually. This is one of the best red cards in the cube. Normally, I would love to get a Rishadan Port for this sort of deck, but A, we're splashing black, and B, I don't know if we have playables enough to take that sort of thing highly. Blackleaf Cliffs is a nice dual land, obviously, but we will be taking this Vortex, and we're pretty happy about that. Okay, there's a Duretti. I think we will wheel that. I actually don't hate Mages of the Moon in a lot of matchups, but I think we'll take the Abrade. This card's a great interactive piece. It's annoying that it can't hit players, but we don't have any artifact interaction so far other than, I guess we have these black cards, but I think this is just a really versatile card that is pretty much always going to be good. Okay, I would like to take this Arid Mesa, and I don't like Siege Gang Commander very much at all, but I actually think, unfortunately, we might have to take it. It's definitely not good, but this is looking like it might be a slightly bigger deck. Like, we could end up with a red deck that has a little bit of grinding power, potentially. There's a Bloodbraid if we were in green, but it doesn't look like we're going to be making that happen. So I actually think we are just going to take this Siege Gang. much as that's not really what I want to be doing in my red decks. Okay, this is great. See, Shrine of Burning Rage is a very, very good card. So happy to get that. Starting to fill out our deck reasonably. Fraction Evoker is a pretty good card in red. Shutting down mana is nice. It'll almost always have something to name, and it just fills out our curve a little bit. The biggest thing this deck is missing at this point is 1-drops, and I really don't think we're going to be able to get any more, unfortunately, because we're definitely not the only red drafter here. But feel okay about that. Okay, I actually really like Wheel of Fortune in these sorts of decks. This is not as good as some red decks because we just don't have as many 1-drops, but I do think this is actually a pretty good card, especially if we can fill out a little bit more burn, so that we can sort of, empty our hand, get them down low, and then Wheel of Fortune to refuel. Okay, Desperate Ritual and Direfleet Daredevil. I actually think this is beginning to look more and more like a good ritual deck with all these 4s and Wheel of Fortune and whatnot, but I think we should just take the Direfleet Daredevil. This card's really strong. Sometimes you just get to hit their Time Walk and just win, and it, again, just another cheap creature that can carry sword and beat down. Don't love Terror of the Peaks. Winter Orb is interesting. That could potentially be a good card for us. I think we'll take the Winter Orb. There's some matchups where it'll be quite good. And I think this actually could potentially be a 7. Oh, nice. Incinerate's a great wheel. Okay. So, that's disrespectfully late Scarab God. But we'll take this Incinerate, and okay, we'll take a Magus. I think. Yeah, we'll take this. It'll be really good in some matchups. Yeah, none of these are going to be making the cut. Lightning Strike. Wow. Okay. I'm beginning to think we might actually be able to play Mono Red, which would just make the mana significantly better. So if we played Magus, cut, Rampage, Command, and Rakdos' Return. Oh, we have to play Goblin Dark Dwellers if we do this. Is that a sacrifice I'm willing to make? I guess we could also play Winter Orb. Okay, we could do this. This is a weak red deck. I would give this a 5 out of 10. But I think it might still be what we want to go with, unfortunately. And then we'll bring in these fetch lands for the Grim Lavamancer. And I guess 17 lands or 16 lands for the Dark Dwellers. Our curve is pretty high for a red deck. We do have a sword, which is sort of mana hungry. But I still think in mono colored, we don't really need to worry about colored mana at all. So I think we'll run this. Not good. Definitely not a very strong deck. That was a tricky draft. I think probably the best deck we could have had from that position is mono blue. I mean, obviously we only ended up with 3 blue, or not mono blue, but some sort of blue control deck. These 3 cards are probably better than any of the cards in our deck. But I think this is a playable deck for sure. And there is no clear open lane from our position at the table, and so to end up with a solidly playable mono red deck, I think, is not the worst outcome. Hopefully we can play some slow decks and get some wins. It's going to be really important to draw our 1-drops. So the games where we draw Zergo are going to go a lot better than the games where we don't. Oh boy. I mean, yeah, we're going to keep this. We'll keep, but having no creatures until turn 3 is rough. I think we should keep that. We have a powerful top end. Hellrider and Chandra are both cards that can just take over the game on their own. Hopefully this bowl will be relevant early. If they just play a green 1-drop that they're really relying on, that would be good. Okay. I actually don't think we want to play the Winter Orb here. Then we can't play Pyromancer next turn, and we can just discard the Winter Orb to Pyromancer. Obviously, no plays for the first 2 turns is the opposite of what you want, especially when you're playing against a blue deck, but we will just fire off this Seasoned Pyromancer. Hopefully they don't have a counterspell. I think we're going to be discarding Winter Orb and Lightning Strike. And then if we have 3 creatures, that makes Hellrider hit pretty hard. Let's see. Do we want a Hellrider or Chandra here? We definitely want to fetch, thin out our deck slightly, and yeah, there's just no downside. They're not approaching our life total in the slightest. If we play Hellrider, they take 4 off of the trigger down to 16, and then 7 down to 9. That looks pretty good, actually. And then if they sweep the board, we can follow up with a Chandra. I think this is worth it. If they didn't have a counterspell last turn, I doubt they will this turn. They would have definitely countered this if they could have. So I think just getting in for the damage right now when we have the chance is a good line. So we have Chandra and Bolt, so we have some reach. If they don't sweep the board, then, I mean, even if they just kill Hellrider, like, we still have some damage. Let's see. Questing Beast. Okay, that's not a problem at all. We can definitely just Chandra that and kill them, actually. We have lethal. Wow. I was not expecting this to go this well. We could Koth and then Chandra, but is that lethal? Sick. Yeah, no, we definitely just have lethal already. So no need to give them extra information. All right. Pretty convincing win there, honestly. We just do not have a sideboard the slightest. We're playing every single card we can. Actually, I guess we could cut. I just don't like Winter Orb in this deck, and especially on the draw. It's weird to add a land on the draw, but I'm honestly considering adding a land over this Winter Orb. But no, there's situations where Winter Orb will be very strong, and I don't really want to flood out super hard, so we'll do this, and then hopefully not get mana screwed while holding onto a Winter Orb. I'll say I was not expecting to just steamroll them and kill them on turn 5 with that hand, but got there. Okay, this hand is no creatures, obviously. Not ideal. Let's see, dude. Okay, they did mulligan, which makes this Wheel of Fortune look a lot worse. Yeah, I think we need some creatures. We're going to ship this. Okay, this hand is a lot better. I'm very happy with this hand. 1 drop, 2 drop, some good stuff. I think we'll be putting back this Avalanche Riders. We're on the draw. We have another 4 drop. We only have 2 lands. So we'll do that. And then definitely leaving on Zurgo here just because it hits harder. Okay, we will definitely be revoking this as soon as we can. Okay, we're definitely going to lead on Mountain as well because we do not want... Or we do want to draw lands, and we do not want to draw that Avalanche Riders that we put to the bottom. So we definitely could just get rocks here. Like if they play an Oko or something. Alright, this is great. We can Prismatic or we can play Phyrexian Revoker. If they don't sack this in response, then we can name this, which will really shut them down. And if they do sack in response, then they can't block and sack. So we get in for 2 extra damage. So likely naming, hopefully, probably they'll sack the Tribe Elder and then we'll name Gilded Goose. That's my guess for how this will go. Yeah. White. Oh wait, we already knew. We were playing all these colors. Gilded Goose. Alright. So this puts them back on mana a bit. I mean, they still have 4 mana next turn, but at least they don't have 5. And we're hitting our land draw, so we're building up towards these cards. Goblin Dark Dwellers is not looking very impressive right now, obviously. Two drop. Ask and you shall receive. So I'm just going to beat in for 4 and then play Soulscar Mage, or Steamkin Soulscar Mage. We're not in a position where we can play around Wrath, unfortunately. I like to do that when possible, but A, they are playing a lot of green dudes, so that makes me think it's less likely they have a Wrath. And B, we need to get as much pressure down as possible. Like, we do not have the luxury of just sitting back and letting our board do the work. Could potentially, the Soulscar Mage text could actually be relevant here, potentially. Like, if they play Pelucranos, shrinking it down to a 1/1 permanently is a really strong play. And, oh wow, no land, and they just pass. And they're holding up Stern Wildwood here. Ooh, I think we're just going to wheel here, actually. Yeah, I think I like doing that. Hopefully we can draw a 1-drop spell so that we can get mana from this Steamkin and sort of go off. The Stern Wildwood will be an annoying blocker, that is for sure. Oh, brutal! We just lost the game immediately. Like, that could not have... 5 lands off of that is obviously just a devastating blow. we can't even really attack. If we swing all out, they animate the Wildwood, eat our Steamkin, and we hit them for 6. Like, that's just so bad. Yeah, I mean, if they didn't have the food token, it might be worth it, but they can just go regain 3 of that life immediately. Man, that was such a bad wheel. I think we're just dead now. Like, they are going to have so many plays. And we didn't even get anything to hit off of this Direfleet Daredevil. Elspeth Conqueror's Death is interesting. That's a good one to know about for our Planeswalkers. Yep, there's the Questing Beast. Things are going from bad to worst. They did not attack. That is interesting. I guess they're... Oh, man. Why, Mountains? Why? We're just going to play land and attack with Steamkin. And if they block, we'll just kill the Llanowar Elves, and that'll be a trade we have to be okay with. But we're like 1% to win this game, maybe. Like, it's just... You can't wheel into 5 lands in a mono red deck and win. And running out the Direfleet Daredevil just doesn't do that much. Like, can't swing through the Wildwood. Like, man. I do not like our position in the slightest. Our only hope is that they really flooded too. But I don't know if that's the case. I mean, I guess they did have a lot of spells that they discarded, so maybe they're going to flood now. Like, a lot of their gas is gone. Okay, unfortunately, I do think we're just going to run this out. Like, against a base green deck, it's unlikely we're going to get stuff much better. And then I actually think we might want to bring in this Pyroclasm now. Like, it's good against us, obviously. Like, it'd kill a lot of our things right now. But we can sort of play around our own Pyroclasm while they won't be expecting it at all. And we could potentially sweep up some mana dudes. Okay, that's actually a decent draw. We can attack with everything and then tap down their mana with Winter Orb. And that maybe gives us a chance. I mean, yeah, again, we're going to lose this game. Like, we already know that, but this is, like, maybe an out if Winter Orb can put in work. We go to 8, or 9, rather. We'll tap down their mana. And we don't even have any X spells, so we can't really take advantage of just the fact that we have 1,000,000 mana. And unfortunately, Goblin Dark Dweller's Flashback Wheel of Fortune is obviously not an option either. Yeah, that's gonna end this game. I mean, I guess if we draw a Hellrider, we win. But that will close the door very quickly. Okay, Siege Gang is reasonable. I mean, it's awkward that... Actually, no, it's just not. This Oko is just going to outpace everything we can do. I mean, I guess we'll cast it. Like, we're not quite in Scoop territory yet. Like, if we draw Hellrider when we have the Siege Gang play, we can get in for a lot of damage. But I really do not like our position whatsoever. So I think, yeah, I mean, we can't even play Hellrider if we draw it this turn. We have... If we draw Hellrider in the next 2 draw steps and they don't have anything to cast, then maybe we have a chance. But that's really the only way. Acidic Slime is a weird card to bring in. They must not have any sideboard options because this card is just bad in the matchup. I mean, it does hit. It does hit both our Shrine and our Sulfuric Vortex, so maybe it's actually good. But blowing up a land is not very impressive. Tough. Okay. I think we're just going to swing all out here. Like, if we had any spells here, we'd actually be in a decent position, but we just have so many lands. That's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, so we only have 5 lands left in our next 18 cards. Yeah, actually... been talking so much about how we're getting killed, but they are at 1. I guess I was expecting them. The Winter Orb is sort of putting in work, I guess. Maybe I shouldn't be all doom and gloom here. Like, you know what, they can... Wow, I thought we were so dead there. I cannot believe we won that game. Holy moly. Well, maybe this deck is actually amazing, and you just want to play 10 lands every game in mono red. If I just saw the situation C2-0, I definitely assume it's some sweet blue-white control deck with 3 pieces of power, and we're just cruising, and that is not how it's felt at all. But here we are. We're 1-0. I guess that's something. I also generally think of green decks as very good against mono red. They're sort of a natural predator because they can just play bigger creatures but still not get outpaced because they have mana and their win conditions. I mean, they have some 8-drops or whatever, but like the 4-mana planeswalkers are just very good, both of them. Here we are, even beating Oko. I would love to be against another red deck, actually. Because just being a little bit bigger is always the place you want to be in mirror matches. And so, like, Siege Gang Commander would be great. Like, we're not playing Goblin Guide and Fire Drinker Satyr, which are cards that are mediocre in the mirror. We have some cheap burn, so that's probably our best matchup. This is a phenomenal hand. Hopefully they play an Ancestral Recall that we can steal. Not what we wanted to see. That was probably the land we least wanted to see. Okay, hopefully we can do some sweet stuff with Runaway Steamkin and Wheel of Fortune. Mono Red Storm. But we're, do they? Oh no. Wow, that is rough for them. So Steamkin versus Porcelain Legionnaire is close. I think we want to get the Steamkin going though. Like, it won't hit quite as hard this turn, but it will... Like, just building this thing up is really valuable. Like, if we can just put a bunch of counters on it, get mana, get more counters, that'll be awesome. And, like, especially if they're missing land drops and we have this Wheel of Fortune, like, charging up the Steamkin will be very valuable. Rafellos? Oh, no. Well, it's okay. Well, that makes me happy I did this, because having a Porcelain Legionnaire play would not represent much. Okay, that was a great draw. So we will attack... And they'll block this, and then we'll bolt it down. I think. I mean, maybe they'll really... I was not expecting that. I think we're just going to bolt their face here. I mean, we could make this really small, but I think this is good. Like, well, let's see. So we're going to be hitting them. We hit them for 7 if we bolt their face. But then this will still just be a blocker that's pretty good. We definitely want to use the bolt here. That is for sure. I think we're going to go to the face. I think we're just going to try and get their life total down as much as we can. And then the post-combat Porcelain Legionnaire. Pass. Very conservative line from them. I mean, I guess they just really want the mana, which is understandable since they missed their second land drop, but I think this is a pretty decent position. We'll see what they play here. Hopefully nothing too scary. They still only have 3 mana. They should not have kept that hand. Like, that's just... Oh, Sylvan Library is so bad here. Okay, that's ideal. I think we are just going to wheel here, especially if we draw land. Ooh. I kind of still think we want to wheel, though. That's just, like, a lot of value, and it charges up our Steamkin. And our Soulscar Mage. Great. We drew spells. Ooh, okay, they had some gas, but that's an easy mulligan. There's no chance you should keep that hand. So we'll get in here. Hopefully they don't block again, but I imagine they will. But then I think that this Hellrider will just end the game next turn. Avalanche Rider is also pretty good against the opponent who missed their second land drop. We can also make mana with Steamkin next turn if we want to. And we could Hellrider, make mana, Avalanche Riders, blow up a land, attack with 2 hasty boys and our board. I mean, it doesn't really matter. We're going to win. I can't really think of any way we lose from this point. I guess our opponent just saw time walk and kept. Good card, but not good enough, my friend. So we'll hit them for 5 off of the... That actually doesn't do anything. We'll hit them for 5 off of the Hell Rider trigger. They'll go to 2, and then we'll have 2 dudes that get in. So, should be good to go. I'm bummed to have played 2 base green decks again, like in a row. That's definitely not what we want, but I mean, we're 3-0 so far, so I guess we can't argue with the results. Obviously blowing up our own land here. Okay, so I think I like Pyroclasm better than Winter Orb here. Like, they're going to have a lot of mana in creatures, and so this is, like, asymmetrical in the bad way. So, yeah, I think this seems reasonable. Man, all these multicolored cards are actually decent. Like, Ren 6 is amazing in this matchup. But we just, if we had, like, a Stomping Ground or a Blood Crypt, or the originals, obviously, then we could maybe make that happen. If we just... Yeah, I just don't think we can quite do it, unfortunately. So we'll run this, and hope they have a bad draw again, because I definitely think if they have a reasonable draw, they'll crush us. Grimloft Mentor is very good in this matchup. Happy to have that. I've been drawing Wheel of Fortune a lot. So we'll almost definitely be going Grimloft Mentor into Revoker, whatever their mana dude is, hopefully. Hopefully they don't have a 1-drop and they do have a Raphaelos. That is obviously not what we wanted to see. Hopefully they don't play Planeswalker this turn. I mean, really, hopefully they don't play anything. I can't really think of many 3-drops. Like, yeah, like Courser is just going to be very good here. We're going to gain a lot of life. It's going to block all our stuff well. I mean, yeah, that's good. Oh, you can't have Black Lotus and Mox. Oh, man. Okay, we are just super, super dead. Now they can just set this up every turn, play free land off the Courser, gain life. There's a Time Walk. Although I guess they don't have blue mana. But yeah, this is like the nightmare. Like I think if we stacked our entire deck, we could never beat Black Lotus and all this stuff on turn 1. So we have a couple options here. We could Revoker naming this. We could Incinerate or Abrade this and then hit for 1. And we could also Revoker name one of these things. I think I like just Abrading this Voted Druid though. And then next turn we can potentially Bolt and then Grimloft Mentor down the Courser. It's really nice that they didn't hit a land off the top with this Courser, and I really hope they don't again. If they don't next turn either, we actually have a decent chance. Okay, there's their... Well, their land is on top now, so they'd have to pay 8 life if they want to hit that land, which seems pretty aggressive. They put the Time Walk on top? What? Okay, I think our opponent is just not very skilled here. But, I mean, yeah, we are actually in it now. They have a Terrastodon, then a Time Walk, and then a Forest. So, yeah, we'll just Incinerate here. Grimloft Mancer. This Wheel of Fortune is not looking very impressive. Man, you have to be pretty skilled to blow a turn 1 Courser and Sylvan Library on the play against Mono Red. So they'll probably just draw Time Walk and just play it and not really do anything with it. I mean, they are at 21, so there's that. Like, we don't have them under any pressure whatsoever. But they're not doing anything, and they're not even ahead on mana anymore, really. I mean, they are, but, like, given they literally had 6 mana on turn 1 or 5 mana on turn 1, like, the fact that this is where they're at now seems reasonable. So they have a Terastodon. They didn't pay. Oh, no, they did pay life. So, this is not one of the cards we knew about. I'm scared of this. I guess, yeah, I don't really know what we want this to be. I mean, I guess acidic slime. We have a bolt, so we can interact with some stuff, but that won't kill many 5-drops. They gained 7 and shuffled their deck? Are you kidding me? Okay. I mean, yeah, well, Revoker there, Mox Emerald, and Porcelain Legionnaire. Nice to fuel the graveyard a bit for Grim Lavamancer. And then we would definitely rather name the Mox than the Elvish Mystic, because the Elvish Mystic is a lot easier to interact with otherwise. This is a situation like most where it doesn't really matter if you play pre or post combat. So yeah, we definitely don't want a Wheel of Fortune here. I mean, they have a million life and they have mana, so they could just kill us here. Like, they could just hit some broken stuff, but if they just brick for a little bit, like, we have a reasonable board now. How are we at 13? I guess we paid some life and they attacked us with Courser or something, but I'm surprised how low we are. So they do pay 4 life, go down to 19, play a bird, play top. Okay, yeah, top and library are redundant, so we don't care about that. Okay, Time Walk, that's good. But now you have no cards. Yeah, Wheel of Fortune is looking pretty weak here. Is there anything it could have been, though? Like, not really. And we could have just splashed or played Winter Orb, but Winter Orb is way better for our opponent when they have 3 mana from lands, or from non-lands. So I think we're just going to bolt 1, Grim Lavamancer the other, and hit for 5. You already know what your top 3 cards are, dude. I guess they only know the top 2. Yeah, like, I'm sure Reich is a good person, but I think if we had switched seats here, I think we could have won this game very easily. Oh, they do have a play here. Oh, that's good. That's really good. Eternal Witness, Time Walk. Yep. Or Primal Command. I guess either one's good, but yeah, it looks like they're going with the Time Walk. That's unfortunate, though. I mean, we are still behind. Like, given everything that's been happening, we should be way more behind, but we are still losing this game right now. We have a lot of live draws, though. Hellrider would be amazing. I could actually potentially imagine a situation where we do want a Wheel of Fortune if we get them low and just need to draw some burn. Although we have already gone through a decent amount of burn. All right. Nothing relevant from the opponent. Holy moly, that's amazing. That's really sick. So, question is if we want to use that this turn or not. I kind of think the answer is yes. I think we're going to attack with both of these. We can't just leave this back forever, and filling our graveyard isn't bad, so we'll hit with both. So we'll definitely trade here, take 3. Then we will very happily cast their Time Walk. This is why I love this card. Whenever you play red, you don't have broken stuff, but sometimes you can have your opponent's broken stuff. So take an extra turn. We have some burn here. So I think we are just going to shoot down both of their mana guys. Well, if we hit them for 5, they're at 11. We have 5 points of burn in hand. Maybe that's better, actually. I think we are going to start by just playing a land and hitting for 6. Or for 5, rather. We want this Lavamancer to stick around. So... I mean, yeah, let's see. We bolt them, we Lavamancer them, or we bolt them, then we wheel. Give them a lot of cards, including potentially life gain. We know that their top cards are also bad because of Sylvan Library, so I think we're just going to wait at least one turn here. So, yeah, I mean, I said that this was a 5 when I was first making this. Really, it probably should have been a 4. I think this is a very weak deck, but, yeah. I mean, this was a 2-1 deck. Our first pick was Mana Drain. Not exactly where we ended up. Alright. Woodfall Primus. That's bad. We're just going to bolt their face here. I mean, not that we even really need to do it in response, but they're turned over here. So, that fueled our Lavamancer pretty well. We can shoot them down to 6, then shoot them down to 4. Oh, ooh. Slight misplay. We should have hit the Revokers in case they have Scavenging Ooze. We can just do that still, so it doesn't really change anything, but... Yeah, I think we should just play... I mean, we almost have lethal. If we swing all out, we can hit them down to 2, but we're going to start with just playing Steamkin and passing. Actually, wait. We do want cards in our graveyard. Maybe we should just attack with both. Yeah, I think we actually should do that. That makes it so if we can get another card in our graveyard, we just kill them. Obviously block here. Go to 4. And then, yeah, we can just kill them with Wheel of Fortune and then exiling Wheel of Fortune. We don't even need to draw cards. So, unless they can gain life this turn, we win. I mean, if they play like a Thragtusk or something, we're in horrendous condition. I don't know if we can muster up enough more damage, but especially, I mean, they have a 6/6 trample and we're at 13. But they have to gain life right now. And their top 2 cards are bad, so they have to have the 3rd card do something good. I mean, they do have a lot of mana here, so that's something. Man, I really thought we were going to lose like most of these games at a lot of points in them, but here we are. This could be the best Wheel of Fortune ever. So, again, definitely doesn't matter, but we will correct our mistake, get rid of these creatures. Obviously, we have no ways to use our graveyard other than this Lavamancer, so it doesn't discriminate. He'll exile anything. Actually, we should just attack. There's a slim chance they could have some sort of way to do something, so we'll just put a card in the graveyard this way. Grim Lavamancer put in work this game. 4 activations. Alright. Here we are, 4-0. This could be the worst trophy deck ever. It actually is just a bad deck. Like, we don't have enough 1-drops. We, like, had to play, like, Winter Orb and Sword, which are cards that, like, and Siege Gang and Goblin Dark Dwellers. Like, these are all cards that I'm just do not want to have in my red deck, at least in the main deck. Mages to the Moon, like, yeah. I would say, yeah, probably, I mean, definitely over half of these cards are in, like, a very strong mono red deck, but it's definitely weak. And we don't even have the two best one-drops of Swift Spear and Goblin Guide. No nice lands, and we have the fetch lands that are go to Grim Lavamancer, but we don't have any, like, man lands or wastelands or anything like that. Oh, we rolled a 1 to their 6. Not a good sign. Alright, don't be another red deck, please. No turn 1 play is bad, but we don't have enough turn 1 plays that we can mulligan into that, so. Oh, that's so bad too. I do not like, yeah. I really want to be up against a blue deck. It's rare that that's the case, but mono white just has slightly bigger creatures and a lot of access to life gain. Oh, blue white, interesting. It's not a normal combination for a Kithian. Okay, that's a great thing to name with this Revoker. And I mean, Incinerate's a good answer to it already, so it's not like that card was going to be devastating for us. But see, like, this is, like, that's just so good against us. That's just an easy 2-for-1 for 1 mana. I actually think I'm going to trade here. Well, yeah, like, the Revoker is just so bad against Inspector that it's going to be a bad deal either way, and we can just kill the Copter with the Incinerate. I think that's better than playing Pyromancer or something like that. Ideally, we'll be able to draw cards off of Pyromancer. Again, like, we're behind, I'd say, but depending on, like, if their deck is like a blue-white deck that has, like, good blue cards, that'll be tough at this stage. But if they're really low to the ground, we could maybe... What? Oh my gosh. That's crazy. Well, I guess they just had, like, mono lands in hand. I can't really think of another explanation there. Wow. I literally said, like, 30 seconds ago that we were behind, and then they just conceded. That's... Wow. Okay. Well, Pyroclasm over Winter Orb, I think. Swords is looking great here. Like, protection from white is going to be very relevant. I'm not a big fan of Wheel of Fortune on the draw, but who knows? Like, weird things have been working out. Maybe we'll have a great wheel that, or maybe we'll need a card in the graveyard for Grim Lavamancer. But yeah, we'll run this back. I mean, I guess the options, we could add another land over this wheel. That's really the only other option. And given that our curve does go to 5, and we are very interested in this sword, maybe that's good. Honestly, I'm also considering wanting to do the Black Splash, now that I think about it. Like, we have 3 free sources. I think in this matchup, Kolaghan's Command is just unbelievable. I kind of want to splash just for Kolaghan's Command. Those two are both not amazing, but we can bring in the Lava Claw, bring in 1 mountain, or 1 swamp, have 3 sources. This doesn't really hurt our red mana at all. And then we can cut one of these. Oh yeah, Magus is not looking great here. Yeah, I think this looks pretty reasonable, actually. I wish that we had a red source that we could fetch with this Verdant, but yeah, I think I'll do this. We'll see how it goes. I mean, we have 4 sources for 1 card, so that's reasonable. And I think that this is unlikely to mess up our red sources. We only have 1 non... Okay, yeah, perfect. I mean, this is definitely just a strict upgrade here. Like, we have plenty of red, and this can get our black. Not sure what we want to play on turn 2 here. And, like, this is also... We don't have any ways to interact here. We just have some dudes. Like, this is definitely a hand you want to get to control deck, not a creature semi-aggressive deck. But hopefully you don't have a 3-bin Inspector here. Bro. Okay, that's a pretty good draw. Still not really sure what we want to run out next turn. Oh man, that's not good. On-color Mox? That is so bad. This card is phenomenal against us. Three-Ribbon Inspector and a Brimaz. Not what we wanted to see. Okay, that's a chance. That gives us a chance. Let's see. I mean, a Runaway Steamkin does literally nothing on this board. But we could just go turn 3 sword, turn 4 equip sword and attack. So we do want to have a creature on the battlefield. So I think we are just going to play this. But we're probably going to lose to this Brimaz. I've said we're probably going to lose a lot of times, and we're 5 now. But, hopefully they daze this. Okay. Actually, we don't really want them to daze it. But, I mean, we're going to be taking some hits here. Like, we're taking 5. They're going to be building up a board. But luckily, since our hand is so slow, Sword of One Piece will gain us a lot of life. So, maybe giving them pro-white will just be enough. That would be so sweet. Alright. Yeah, I mean, I think this is the one time where we're actually going to lose. We're going down to 11 now. Lightning Strike. I mean, okay, we're taking 8 from these Brimaz things, and we can't interact with that in a good way at all. I think we're just 8, 9, 10. Are we just going to go to 1? Then on our next turn, we can gain a decent amount of life, but we're gaining 5 life. We'll go back up to 6, but then they'll just attack with Brimaz and make a third 2/2. I think we have to play the sword. Well, I think we have a 0.01% chance of winning if we play Sword of War and Peace here. They literally play nothing for the rest of the game. They also do have a spell because they didn't play land there. And 4 mana. Yeah, I think we're actually just going to concede here. It's a strategic concession. If we don't play the sword, we're definitely going to lose. Like, these just can't... I guess we'll like, play it out. I mean, I guess we can braid this and trade and get 2 for 1 and then take 6. And then next turn play, like, sword or shrine plus... Oh, man. Yeah, I just can't really imagine the way that this results in us winning. But, like, killing a Brimaz is step 1. Actually, probably slightly better play Lightning Strike. We're not in a position to be going towards their face, unfortunately. So many, like, any 4-drop kills us. Myria Angel, yeah, that definitely kills us. I guess we'll take our draw set, but I definitely cannot think of anything. I mean, Chandra, good card, but not here. That was just a busted draw from our opponent. Like, if they have a Mox and they're on the play and we don't have a Mox, I mean, we just don't have any in our deck, so obviously we're not going to have a Mox, then that'll be hard for us to win. Okay, we'll run it back and just hope they don't have as good of a draw. It is really just unfair when one player has a Mox and the other doesn't. Again, this is just a bad matchup. Like, Brimaz is just phenomenal against us. None of our cards trade with a 1-for-1. It can attack and block. It just generates dudes that trade with our dudes, so the tokens are very relevant. Yeah, I really think... So with mono red, red decks crush black decks, in my experience. And they get crushed by green and white decks. And then blue is sort of 50-50. Like, a broken blue deck will beat a red deck, but, like, an average blue deck will lose to it, so... We haven't played against any decks that we actually want to, but that's how it goes sometimes. There's some argument to the Wheel of Fortune on the play, but I think it's not worth it. Like, actually, Avalanche Riders doesn't look very impressive. We'll bring this in. Like, if they have Mox, it's bad. But there will be some situations where it's very good, and Avalanche Riders is just not that good of a card. Like, they look like they're pretty low to the ground. They have mostly basics. They, like... are mostly mono white, so just blowing up land is pretty marginal. Okay, I mean, 1-drop, 2-drop, land, Hellrider, like, can't really complain with this hand. I guess the one thing it's missing is a burn spell, but if we draw, like, a lightning bolt, we could go turn 2 Steamkin, turn 3 Revoker plus Bolt. That'd be really good. No 3-Ribbon Inspector for the 3rd game in a row. Actually, they did not lead on 3-Ribbon Inspector 3rd. Oh! Okay. Yeah, I mean... At least we can revoke that, but still. Pyroclasm obviously looking pretty bad here. I would love to be able to name the Mox, but I just think, like, Copter will just be very good against us, and we don't, unlike game 1, we don't have an answer to it in hand. If we had a Bolt, I think we would definitely name the Mox Pearl. Whoa, Underground Sea. No Brimaz, please, please no Brimaz. It's so much as bad. Okay, so we're just gonna play Runaway Steamkin here. It's looking like a situation where we actually are going to be using this Pyroclasm, as awkward as that is. But if we can get our Steamkin out of range, and clean up a bunch of tokens and like potentially another card, that's not the worst ever. I mean, a million miles from the best ever, but... Are you kidding me? How are we going to beat a deck with 2 Moxen? Our deck is bad. So, I mean, if they just are really flooded, we could potentially have a chance, like, if they have, like, 2 lands in hand still, which is not out of the question. What is it? It's a blue... Okay, that's a land. Play another Signet, please. Please. All of Omens? Okay, that's at least non-threatening. And now they flash back the souls. Okay, I've certainly seen worse positions. Oh, that's great. That is very, very good for us. Because now our Hellrider can swing in and not get killed. I guess they can just block it, but... Oh, should have fetched end of turn. That was stupid, since we knew we were going to use this turn and then we drew a mountain. So hopefully that doesn't come back to bite us. So we'll hit for 1. It's literally just a 1-point hit. That's brutal. I mean, we could just send a Revoker too and just trade off. Oh, but no, then they can use Copter next turn, so we don't want that. Hopefully they play something that dies to Pyroclasm. That's bad. That's really, really bad. Oh, man. Oh, wow. Yeah, we're just dead. Times 10. Hopefully they attack us. Like, if we can get off this Pyroclasm, we actually have maybe a chance. They could just tap all of our lands in our upkeep, and then we're pretty dead. Attack us, please. At least with 1. Yeah, I mean, we're going to lose this game. Sad. I mean, this deck did not deserve a trophy, so there's that. But, oh, okay, maybe they'll leave us with a land? Or, no, they're probably... If they tap all of our lands and we can get in for 5, like, at least we'd get some damage through. So... I'm scared to go to combat because they can just block and then tap something. So I think we actually have to take this opportunity to Pyroclasm, as frustrating as that is. So we'll have 2 dudes. I mean, they'll still have the wall and the Copter, so that's good. Like, and yeah, obviously the Copter is now unlocked, so that's annoying. But they don't really have a ton going on. And I think we are okay with trading this wall with this Runaway Steamkin, like a 1-5, cruise the Copter, and it's just, okay. I mean, yeah, if they trade Copter for Steamkin, that's fine. And then we can get down to Sulfuric Vortex, which even if they're oppositioning us, we'll still be getting in for damage. So, I mean, big turn here. If they have a big card here, we will lose, especially if it's, like, creates multiple bodies. But if they basically brick, then the Sulfuric Vortex will be good. Oh, 5 mana. That's definitely game. 4 still game. Oh, wow, that's bad news. Very, very bad news. And we have no cards in our deck that will kill it. Sure. That's brutal. I mean, yeah, I think we're just attacking. It's stupid for them to not tap this if they don't. Okay, they found the line. So next turn we're taking 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, yeah, there's just no chance we can win. Like, we have no way to interact with that Hero Blade hold. I'm trying. Yeah, there's no cards in our whole deck to do that. Chandra can't kill it with the Honor of the Pure in play. And they're going to be making dudes. I mean, yeah, Sulfuric Vortex helps them more than us. Like, at this point, we're both at 17. We'll see if they stack their triggers right. They did. They're pro. Lingering Souls is a beating. I mean, just this matchup in general is a beating. Swamp Down. I guess we'll just jam this and hit for 4. So they're at 13. I mean, we could kill them if we, like, yeah. We're sort of close to being close, but we're not actually close. So we have to block at least 2 things. I mean, yeah, we're... Oh, no, we have to block... Yeah, definitely dead. Alright, well... 2-1 is honestly better than I was expecting with this deck. Not great, but what can you do? Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm sorry that wasn't a very cool deck. I think we salvaged a better than expected result from where we were looking halfway through, and yeah.